Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hugo, and today I want to talk about the new 17 Pro iPhone. And I'm gonna compare this phone to my old phone, which is iPhone 15 Pro. And I've done a lot of tests that I actually want to share with you before we continue. So let's take a look at the blind test. So this was the blind test, and comment below guessing which camera do you think it was? Which was the 17 Pro, the top one or the below one? And if you like this video, please subscribe and like this video, because that helps tremendously. That helps this channel to grow, and a great motivation for me to make more videos like this. And if you're a filmmaker, join my online film school called CinePro. You're gonna find a lot of cool courses there. The link is gonna be somewhere here and in the description as well, so check it out. So a little bit of background how I got this phone, because initially when I went to the store, I pre-ordered the iPhone Pro, the silver version, but when I held the Air in my hands, I quickly changed my order, because I really liked the feeling of Air in my hand, because it was so thin and it's just a feeling of a new phone, you know, like a new experience. So I've tested this phone for a few days, and then I quickly realized that I actually want to test out the new iPhone Pro, because Apple sold those cameras so well, saying those are new cameras, those are new technologies, and everyone on the internet saying how cool this phone is. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go and change my Air to the iPhone Pro, and that's why I got 17 Pro. I didn't get the Max version because I think the Max is way too big. I like the regular version, the Pro version. So I started testing this phone, and I quickly realized that although it's a new phone, but it has similar feelings like before I had my 15 Pro, and there is not much big of a difference of holding the 17 Pro from the 15 Pro. It's kind of the same phone, honestly. I started convincing myself, saying maybe the cameras are better. So okay, I decided, since I have my 15 Pro, I'm gonna do side-by-side test where I'm gonna mount two iPhones, and I'm gonna roll on the exact same footage, so I can put this on side-by-side and see which camera performs better. I knew that the main camera is pretty much the same from 15 Pro, but the wide angle and telephoto lenses are the new, completely new cameras, because they claim instead of 12 megapixels, now they have 48 megapixels. So that was promising, because I really wanted to have pretty much the same quality as the main camera. But when I started using the 17 Pro, I quickly noticed that even though they claim 48 megapixels, it doesn't feel as the same quality as the main camera. So the wide angle and the telephoto, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not as the same quality as the main camera. The main camera still has better dynamic range, still has better sharpness, better low light, so it's not the same camera as the main one. But then I started testing the 15 Pro next to the 17 Pro, and I wasn't surprised that the main camera was looking pretty much the same, but the biggest surprise to me was that when I switched to wide angle, the wide angle looked almost identical to the 17 Pros. And then I switched to the telephoto lens, and that lens also looked pretty much the same. And that was really confusing, because the 15 Pro has 12 megapixels, but the 17 Pro has 48 megapixels. So how come do they look pretty much the same? And by the way, I did all the tests using Blackmagic app, because there is a big difference when you're using just the camera app and when you're using Blackmagic, because in Blackmagic you can shoot in log, and the log, that's what makes a huge difference in terms of dynamic range and colors. When you shoot in Blackmagic and you're using log color profile, the images from all three cameras look pretty much the same. There is a little bit more sharpness on 17 Pro. Is it the better lenses, or it's just because my 15 Pro is 2 years old and I was rubbing in the pocket those lenses? Maybe those lenses not as sharp as the new lenses on the 17 Pro. So, but at the same time, I feel like with the compression on YouTube, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between which is which. There is one more feature that Apple added to the 17 Pro, and that's Apple ProRes RAW. It's actually a big deal, because from my tests, even though it doesn't feel like it's a big jump from just shooting in ProRes to ProRes RAW, but there is something about aesthetics of the way footage is captured. I don't know, even when you're shooting in ProRes, regular ProRes, it still feels like there is a little bit of compression. It's not as sharp as like you would shoot on regular cameras. But when you shoot in Apple ProRes RAW, I don't know, something to this image that really feels more like a normal camera. I don't know, maybe because of the Bayer or some other things, but something is happening there. And I was really actually surprised, because the sharpness of it, the details, the dynamic range, and the ability to change the color space and the exposure is a great tool to have in your pocket. But at the same time, weirdly enough, in order to shoot Apple ProRes RAW, you have to use an external SSD. And that's really strange, because you're able to shoot Apple ProRes HQ internally to this phone. And Apple ProRes RAW has exactly the same size as Apple ProRes HQ. So it's not the speed limitation, because it's keeping up with Apple ProRes HQ. And I'm pretty sure that the internal storage in this phone is pretty fast. And again, at the same time, they added this new option of 2 terabytes. So why do you need 2 terabytes if you can't use it? If in order to shoot Apple ProRes RAW, you still have to shoot using external devices. So that's a bit odd, you know. Maybe it will be changed with a software update or whatever, but it's inconvenient that I actually have to use external device in order to capture Apple ProRes RAW. And on the other hand, another drawback is when you're using Apple ProRes RAW, there is no stabilization. And just because the camera is so small, you feel all the shakiness, all the jitter in camera. So that's another thing. So you can't really use it for normal stuff filming, because it's not going to be smooth. And by the way, everything I'm filming right now, I'm actually filming on the iPhone 17 Pro in this Apple ProRes RAW setting in OpenGate. And by the way, OpenGate is another cool thing that they featured, that now you can shoot OpenGate. But OpenGate, again, you can also shoot an Apple ProRes RAW, so that's another consideration. But it's really cool to have an OpenGate mode, and everyone is hyped up about OpenGate these days. But I wouldn't consider having OpenGate here to use for anamorphic stuff, but I would more consider this for using it for reframing, because the 4:3 aspect ratio is easier to reframe for vertical and horizontal stuff. I feel like OpenGate and Apple ProRes RAW in this phone, when you're using a controlled environment, is a really cool feature to have in your phone. And again, if you know what you're doing, you can do magic with this phone. So that was my take on this new 17 Pro. And if you like this video, please, again, subscribe, like, and join my online film school. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.